Hello everyone and welcome to this channel. In this video we talk about upcoming technologies and future gadgets. Number 1. Drowning forest fire with sound. Forest fires could one day be dealt with by drones that would direct loud noises at the trees below. Since sound is made up of pressure waves, it can be used to disrupt the air surrounding a fire, essentially cutting off the supply of oxygen to the fuel. At the right frequency, the fire simply dies out, as researchers at George Mason University in Virginia recently demonstrated with their sonic extinguisher. Apparently, bass frequencies work best. Number 2. Internet for everyone. We can't seem to live without the internet. How else would you read sciencefocus.com? But still only around half the world's population is connected. There are many reasons for this, including economic and social reasons. But for some the internet just isn't accessible because they have no connection. Google is slowly trying to solve the problem using helium balloons to beam the internet to inaccessible areas, while Facebook has abandoned plans to do the same using drones, which means companies like Hyber are stealing a march. They have taken a different approach by launching their own network of shoebox-sized microsatellites into low Earth orbit, which wake up a modem plugged into your computer or device when it flies over and delivers your data. Their satellites orbit the Earth 16 times a day and are already being used by organizations like the British Antarctic Survey to provide internet access to very extreme of our planet.
Number 3. Living robots.
Tiny hybrid robots made using stem cells from frog embryos could one day be used to swim around human bodies to specific areas requiring medicine, or to gather microplastic in the oceans. These are novel living machines, said Joshua Bongart, a computer scientist and robotics expert at the University of Vermont, who co-developed the millimeter-wide bots, known as Xenobots. They are neither a traditional robot nor a known species of animal. It's a new class of artifact, a living, programmable organism.
Number 4. Self-healing living concrete.
Scientists have developed what they call living concrete by using sand, gel and bacteria. Researchers said this building material has structural load-bearing function, is capable of self-healing and is more environmentally friendly than concrete, which is the second most consumed material on Earth after water. The team from the University of Colorado Boulder believe their work paves the way for future building structures that could heal their own cracks, suck up dangerous toxins from the air or even glow on command. Number 5. Sweat-powered smartwatches. Engineers at the University of Glasgow have developed a new type of flexible supercapacitor, which stores energy, replacing the electrolytes found in conventional batteries with sweat. It can be fully charged with as little as 20 microliters of fluid and is robust enough to survive 4,000 cycles of the types of flexes and bends it might encounter in use. The device works by coating polyester cellulose cloth in a thin layer of a polymer, which acts as the supercapacitor's electrode. As the cloth absorbs its wearer's sweat, the positive and negative ions in the sweat interact with the polymer surface, creating an electrochemical reaction which generates energy. Conventional batteries are cheaper and more plentiful than ever before, but they are often built using unsustainable materials which are harmful to the environment, says Professor Ravinder Dahiya, head of the Bendable Electronics and Sensing Technologies, BEST, group, based at the University of Glasgow's James Watt School of Engineering. That makes them challenging to dispose of safely and potentially harmful in wearable devices, where a broken battery could spill toxic fluids onto skin. What we've been able to do for the first time is show that human sweat provides a real opportunity to do away with those toxic materials entirely, with excellent charging and discharging performance.
Number 6. Energy storing bricks.
Iron oxide, which is the red pigment in the bricks, helped with the process, the researchers said. Scientists have found a way to store energy in the red bricks that are used to build houses. Researchers led by Washington University in St. Louis, in Missouri, U.S., have developed a method that can turn the cheap and widely available building material into smart bricks that can store energy like a battery. Although the research is still in the proof of concept stage, the scientists claim that walls made of these bricks could store a substantial amount of energy and can be recharged hundreds of thousands of times within an hour. The researchers developed a method to convert red bricks into a type of energy storage device called a supercapacitor. This involved putting a conducting coating, known as PEDOT, onto brick samples, which then seep through the fired brick's porous structure, converting them into energy storing electrodes. Iron oxide, which is the red pigment in the bricks, helped with the process, the researchers said.
Number 7. Airports for drones and flying taxis.
Our congested cities are in desperate need of a breather, and relief may come from the air as opposed to the roads. Plans for a different kind of transport hub, one for delivery drones and electric air taxis, are becoming a reality, with the first urban airport receiving funding from the UK government. It's being built in Coventry. The hub will be a pilot scheme and hopefully a proof of concept for the company behind it. Powered completely off-grid by a hydrogen generator, the idea is to remove the need for as many delivery vans and personal cars on our roads, replacing them with a clean alternative in the form of a new type of small aircraft, with designs being developed by Hyundai and Airbus, amongst others. Infrastructure is going to be important. Organizations like the Civil Aviation Authority are looking into the establishment of air corridors that might link a city center with a local airport or distribution center.
Number 8. Artificial eyes.
Bionic eyes have been a mainstay of science fiction for decades, but now real-world research is beginning to catch up with far-sighted storytellers. A raft of technologies is coming to market that restore sight to people with different kinds of vision impairment. In January 2021, Israeli surgeons implanted the world's first artificial cornea into a bilaterally blind, 78-year-old man. When his bandages were removed, the patient could read and recognize family members immediately. The implant also fuses naturally to human tissue without the recipient's body rejecting it. The patient could read and recognize family members immediately. The implant also fuses naturally to human tissue without the recipient's body rejecting it. And scientists are even working on wireless brain implants that bypass the eyes altogether. Researchers at Monash University in Australia are working on trials for a system whereby users wear a pair of glasses fitted with a camera. This sends data directly to the implant, which sits on the surface of the brain and gives the user a rudimentary sense of sight.
Number 9. Direct air capture.
Through the process of photosynthesis, trees have remained one of the best ways to reduce the levels of CO2 in the atmosphere. However, new technology could perform the same role as trees, absorbing carbon dioxide at greater levels while also taking up less land. This technology is known as direct air capture, DAC. It involves taking carbon dioxide from the air and either storing the CO2 in deep geological caves underground, up less land. This technology is known as direct air capture, DAC. It involves taking carbon dioxide from the air and either storing the CO2 in deep geological caves underground. There are now direct air capture facilities up and running, but the current models require a huge amount of energy to run. If the energy levels can be reduced in the future, DAC could prove to be one of the best technological advances for the future of the environment.
Number 10. Virtual reality universe.
After making its dramatic name change, the company once known as Facebook has become Meta. This marks Zuckerberg and his huge team's move into the metaverse, an embodied internet mostly accessed through virtual and augmented reality. As part of this move, we will start to see Meta putting more time into equipment for accessing this new world, mostly in VR. Announced back in 2021, Meta has been developing a new headset under the title Project Cambria. Unlike the brand's previous VR ventures like the Oculus Quest 2, this won't be a device for the average consumer, instead looking to offer the best VR experience they can make. The Cambria has been reported to be focused on advanced eye and face tracking, to improve accuracy of avatars and your in-game movements, a higher resolution, increased field of view, and even trying to make the headset significantly smaller. Between Meta, Google, Sony and plenty of other big tech companies, VR is getting lots of funding right now, and we'll be seeing drastic improvements in the next couple of years.
Number 11. Brain-reading robots.
No longer a science fiction trope, the use of brain-reading technology has improved hugely in recent years. One of the most interesting and practical uses we've seen tested so far comes from researchers at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Lausanne, EPFL. Thanks to a machine learning algorithm, a robot arm and a brain-computer interface, these researchers have managed to create a means for tetraplegic patients, those who can't move their upper or lower body, to interact with the world. In tests, the robot arm would perform simple tasks like moving around an obstacle. The algorithm would then interpret signals from the brain using an EEG and automatically determine when the arm had made a move that the brain considered incorrect, for example moving too close to the obstacle or going too fast. Over time, the algorithm can then adjust to the individual's preferences and brain signals. In the future, this could lead to wheelchairs controlled by the brain or assistance machines for tetraplegic patients.